Hi there. In today's demo, I'm going to work with the FormStack for Salesforce app and some native Salesforce functionality to automate the customer support process for a company who primarily sells software. However, this methodology and situation could be applied to any scenario where supporting customers, clients, patients, or members is a crucial aspect of your business or organization. So first of all, I just want to direct you to this screen here where you can see obviously a very simple sort of form that can be embedded on a website. But basically what we're going to do here is we're going to enter in some demonstration data and sort of talk about first what happens when we fill out this form and what rules can we sort of build around a form like this so that we are showing relevant information in the experience for the end user. So I'm going to just put in, as I said, some dummy information here. And as you'll see when I go ahead and click off tab from this field, we'll get a new box display in the form. And basically what this is the second part of the form that we need our client to fill in. And the reason why I had that rule around the email address is because we obviously want to have a way of contacting our client back after we've sort of looked at their support ticket. So I'll just go ahead and put in a quick phone number here as well. A brief description of the issue that our fake customer here is facing. And I'm going to describe it as well. We also have the ability to add any supporting files to a ticket. So if you've got screenshots or a quick video that you've taken of the issue and you want to send that to the support team, you can go ahead and upload that file like so. And then we're going to go ahead and submit the ticket. So it's a pretty simple process for the first part of this workflow. What I want to do now is sort of just go through a couple of things in regards to how we got to that experience and what was sort of involved in creating that new support ticket that we'll have on the agent side when we finally get to that portion of the demonstration. So I'll go ahead back into my FormStack account. I'll head to the dashboard. And then I'm going to select that first ticket that we were, that first form that we were using for our support ticket. And there's a couple of things on this ticket here that I want to explain. So when I first created this support ticket form, it asked, FormStack for Salesforce asked me which objects within Salesforce would I like to utilize for data collection. And the first one I chose was the case object. The second one I chose was the contact object. So on the makeup of this form, you can see below the name of the field where that field actually resides within your Salesforce account. So really we've got our form broken into two aspects. We've got the contact information here. We've also got the case information down here. So on the contact portion of the form, I'm going to click on the email drop-down arrow to modify that field. And in here, you can see we've got two checkboxes that have been checked. One is for required, and another one is to update existing Salesforce record matching this field. So if I absolutely need an email address for my ticket in order to save that data to our system, I'll need to check that box as required. If I'm also using that field for email as a unique identifier within my contact database, so that if I get another ticket from Max Shepard and his email is exactly the same, then that will update his contact record if, for instance, he puts in a different phone number. So we've got the ability to not only create new records, but also update existing records based upon this field here. this field option here. Secondly, moving down here onto the case portion of the form. So this is where we'll be collecting information for our case record. So as you can probably remember, I put in a subject, an issue, and a supporting file for my ticket. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to sort of show you the results of that submission when I go over into my service console here and I refresh my service console. You'll be able to see that I've had a new contact created, Max Shepherd, and also a new case created in regards to his issue. So you can see here we've got our subject coming through as SSO login issues. If I click into the case itself, you'll be able to see more information that was collected from that form. So not only the client name, their email and their phone number, but also the subject and the description of their issue that we're needing to solve for. Now all of that information has been collected inside of the support agents, Salesforce database. We can go ahead and now respond to our customer, and in doing so, they're going to receive an email from us telling them to click on a form that still contains the information that lives on this case, and they're going to be asked to provide any other notes in relation to their case. So at this point, what I want to do is go ahead and respond to my customer, and I'll go ahead and do that here in our response notes. I'm just putting in a dummy response here, just saying that, like, okay, we see your issue a fair bit, and we've got some support documentation that we can send out to you. Go ahead and see this resource, and let me know if that helps. So we'll go ahead and save that response. Now, once I've done that, what's actually occurring on the back end here is that I have built a automated email process within Salesforce, and that's part of that Salesforce native functionality that you can totally take advantage of when using FormStack in your Salesforce account. And what is happening here is when I update this field on my case record, this process here for sending out an update case form is being triggered. So I won't go into the technical details of this too much right now, but just for anyone who's interested, when I was setting up this particular process, I just was putting in my criteria based around a change in that response notes area on the case object. So once that change had occurred, that is when that email here, which is a email alert that I created within Salesforce earlier, is being sent out to my customer. So I'm going to go ahead and check my customer email account here. So this is, just imagine that this is Max Shepherd's email account, and he's our client. I can go ahead and click on this email here, and that email that was sent out through that process populates on the screen, and it's instructing the customer to go ahead and add some further information to their ticket. So we'll go ahead and click on that. Now, and again, it's another very simple form. It's actually a different form from the first one with a couple of changes to it, and I'll just go ahead and explain those, and then I'll sort of go ahead and explain as well how we got this information populated from our case record onto this unique link that we sent out to our customer. So what you can see here again, we've got our subject. These fields are all read-only. I made those changes within our FormStack account earlier so that the customer can't change any information that has previously been submitted, but we're also giving the option to the customer to update their ticket here and to let us know if that sort of resolved their issue. So I'm going to just put in a quick response here. I'll go ahead and click Send Update to Support. And again, you'll see my submission message for submitting that form response. So the next piece here is to sort of talk about when our customer responds to that ticket, how are we notified internally as a support agent for the company that is dealing with our customer issue. So I'm going to go into another email inbox here. Well, let's just imagine that this is our internal agent who is receiving a notification that there has been an update to the ticket that they're working on. So I'll go ahead and refresh my inbox there, and you'll see that I have an updated case that needs to be reviewed. And I'll go ahead and click on that link, which will direct me back to my case record. Now, the way that we got there was through, again, another process that we built up within Salesforce, that essentially when a customer makes a change to that form, we're actually updating the Salesforce record itself on the case side to include the information that the customer gives us. And through that action, we have modified our case record. And so not unlike the last instance that I showed you with that process that we built for sending out a notification email to our customer, we can also send notification emails internally to our support agents based on a change to a record. And so therefore, I received an email in my inbox, and I can now go ahead and start working on that ticket. So there is one other thing that might be interesting here to sort of talk about, and that's how did we get that information pre-populated onto that previous ticket form or response form. And the way that we did that was utilizing a process within the FormStack app that is called dynamic prefill. So if I'm going to sort of show you that now, I'm just going to go and head into that update form, which is here. I'm going to head to publish options. And then up the top here, you'll see a couple of things of importance. So the first one is going to be that we need to have dynamic prefill enabled. And so by enabling dynamic prefill, what we're actually doing is we're taking the fields that live on this form that reside on the case object within Salesforce, and we're going to update the form with information from that case. And so down here where you can see auto-generate prefill links, that's something we also need to turn on in this case. And what that does is it generates the link to the form that is unique to, in this instance, the case object and this case record that we're working with. So by doing that, it generates this form link here on the case object. And this is the exact same form that you saw previously as part of our update on the case. So let's just say in an ideal world here that our customers told us to go ahead and close out this case and that they no longer need any help with it. So I actually have another process sort of built in here on the back end that will allow me to send out a feedback form to my customer, where the customer can go ahead and add any additional notes and sort of explain their experience that they had with the support team that sort of dealt with their issue. So in order for me to trigger that email to go out to my customer, I can go ahead under the status bar here for this case, and I'll go ahead and close it out. Now, by closing it out, what it's going to actually do is it's going to take this feedback form, which is related to one of my other forms within FormStack, which is this feedback form here. And if we open up this feedback form, you'll be able to see that again, I have my dynamic pre-fill information enabled here. I also have the auto-generate pre-fill links option turned on as well. And so what that is going to do with the dynamic pre-fill enabled here is it's going to pre-fill my feedback form with information from the case so that, again, the customer can review the information of the case and the experience and then provide their most accurate feedback. So now I'm going to go over onto my customer side email inbox. And you can see that I've got my feedback form, which has been sent to me from General Technologies here. And they want me to go ahead and provide feedback on my most recent support experience. So you can see in this email here that we've got the subject merged into the email. And we also have this link here, which, if you remember rightly, was the same link as the feedback form that you see here on this particular case. So in summary, each different case or each different record will have a different link or a unique link to the form that contains their pre-filled information. It's probably one of the most important things that you could get out of this demonstration. So we'll go ahead and click on our feedback link here. It should shortly load. Okay, so you'll be able to see here at the top of the form, we've got our subject with our pre-filled subject for that case, and the description information here as well. Again, that's also just read-only. Furthermore, down here, and I know unfortunately I'm having some formatting issues, but I've placed in a bar to rate your experience, either 1 through 5. So let's just go with something like 4 here, and then select the best words to describe your experience. So I can actually select more than one of these particular options because I'm utilizing a multi-select pick list field here from within Salesforce that's writing this information back to that feedback record that's attached to the case. And I'll show you that here once we've finished filling out our feedback form. Go in and put some more comments. And then we'll go ahead and send this back to our support agent. And that essentially completes the workflow for this particular demonstration. Before we sort of finish up here, I wanted to go back into the case record and sort of show you the feedback record that is attached to this particular case here. This is the most new, the newest one that was generated. We'll click into that there, and then obviously you can see that the information that we placed in on the feedback form has carried through into our feedback record, which is in turn linked to our case record, and again, which is in turn linked to our contact record. So in summary, you can use the FormStack app along with Salesforce to really automate a lot of your processes and sort of save a bit of time and create some more efficiencies around what you're doing. Look, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to my demonstration. Hope you have a great day.